we had to have a question about something from through the art department and the producers for the tattoos, because as you know, there were 100 different tattoos for all these different planets. And I often would go to Peter and I say, what do you think? He would say, well, I think this, let's go to the art department. And because they would do the designs for us. And if they weren't in gold, we would just stencil them on. Or that would have, and the art department would make those for us. And we had at one point, we got to the point we needed the gold ones. We didn't have time to do sculpting. And the wonderful art department came up with a handmade tattoo, but it was in layers. And so we would have to make them. My lovely Dorothy Deichmann had the job of laying the gold inside of all these pieces and then pulling it apart, and there was that tattoo. And wow. That was one of the challenges by the time we sort of worked our way through all of those things. So.
There was a lot of work to that. You know, you just think, oh, it's just a tattoo. Well, no, not necessarily. Like Teal'cs, originally it was in a low number of different pieces, and then you created like a whole disc to put on that.
You know, it's interesting because Charles Bordier, who was a makeup effects at that time, did the first few, and it was turned over to me to make them, and they were in 3 pieces, and you just put them on and then fill in. And this is something I don't know how to tell too many people, but my lovely assistant Monica Hubert and I were going through. It was very early in Teal'c's life when he was in the SG-1, and we had a situation where we had to do it in a hurry. And we looked at the dailies. Monica and I looked at the dailies, and we both started laughing. And I said, do you see what I see? I went to Michael Greenberg and I said, well, you've got our pink slips ready, Michael? I said, what are you talking about? Did you see the dailies?
Did you see what direction the snake was pointing?
Oh, and I mean, we laughed, but thank goodness we kept our jobs. Monica and I just kept our jobs and get going straight.
There is one episode, I can't think of the name of the episode, where, the serpent's upside down. But you know what? Hey, makes for a great story and a great Easter egg.
We talked about this at the convention, didn't we? Somebody asked a question about Teal'c when you went to visit.
I'm sure. Yeah, I wish I knew which one. It was one of the earlier episodes for sure, and I just remember watching like.
Well, it was the first time I think he was out of his Jaffa outfit and became part of military sort of.
Okay, so he was in kind of a military. Yeah.
And so no, I just shudder now. That was the end of my career.
I know. That was just the beginning of a long run.
But Michael was so forgiving and so because I've worked with Michael on MacGyver, and it was one of those treasures when he had these little kids around him. He was such a different man with babies.
What was the pace like for Arc of Truth and Continuum? Was it a little bit more relaxed because the shoots were okay?
Yeah. No, it certainly was, and I think that the timing of it worked better for us in terms of it was over a longer period of time, but it was a new aspect. I mean, one point we were on a ship in the Arctic, and
right.
Yeah, but I didn't go to the Arctic. I had outgrown my insurance days by then. But no, and that was the fact that we had to recreate a lot of it back in the studio was great because we had the film footage to be able to adjust some of it. But that was much more relaxed, shall I say? I have, well, Continuum.
Mm.
I don't know. It was one of those scripts that I think that it took a lot more adjusting to than some of the others.
I have some fan questions submitted.
Some which?
Some questions submitted by fans.
Oh, I thought you said band. Well, I know nothing about music.
I haven't been in band since 5th grade. I have some questions submitted by fans that I want to share with you.
Let's hope I can answer them.
A couple of them I can. Easy Sparky. Jan, what was one of the more challenging makeup jobs that you had to do? And what was it that made it challenging?
In what way? Was it on stage or in film or in Stargate?
Let's keep it focused on Stargate.
Of course. That's what we're talking about. Oh, I'd mentioned that Christopher's makeup took a long time, and it was one of those makeups that was done by me and by Christopher, having done his research for what he thinks it should look like, because he came as an alien, and we had to decide if it was being somewhat some Egyptian attachments to it. But the fact that it also Apophis was another one, but that how would we create the Goa'uld from the kingdom into the makeup that they had, since they were little, had been developing. Do you know what I mean? As the person, Christopher had a lot to do with his look. The eye makeup and the Goa'uld was very, very much a joint plan with Christopher and also the producers, of course. And you don't do anything without producers and directors having their say. And thank goodness for them, because it gives you a better sense of direction. Of course, as you know, a lot of it's already in the script, so you have to have a basis.
You can lean on that, yeah.
Okay, well, I would say that's the answer to that question. The two of them, Apophis and Teal'c.
Stephen Ames asked, is Teal'c's loss of his gold makeup because he started using Tritonin? So in season 6, he started getting those injections instead of having the symbiote in his belly, and he started being more human-like because he wasn't relying on his junior anymore to be a Jaffa.
From what I have gathered from when we did that, I really think that when he joined SG-1, he decided that the important part from him was, I've forgotten what they call it, but when he light the candles and
Kelnorim, yeah, he would meditate. Yep.
Kelnorim, he'd do his meditation, and I think the basis of it was that he didn't need that ritual anymore to prepare himself. He still had his tattoo, but didn't need the continuation, the continuity of his gold in his eyes, and he just became a man, human. I mean.
Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. You can find the full live stream shows on our YouTube channel or visit dialthegate.com for the complete schedule. See you on the other side.